Hey everyone, this is Jan Brobuscus, and welcome back to another Let's Watch of UniVS. Today's episode is Tarzan versus Grug. Tarzan's back. I am not in my room. I am at my friend's house, again. So because of that, I don't have access to my computer right now, so I'm just gonna watch it on my phone. Also recording on my iPad. Alright, so Tarzan versus Grug. It's been a while since I've watched Tarzan, like a good long while, and it's also, I've only seen the Croods like once, and when it was still, like, I saw it in the theaters, and that was the only time I've seen it. I've never seen it again. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. It was a decent movie, it's just I've never really had the opportunity or the care. So I'm rooting for Tarzan for this one, but I'm not quite sure who's gonna win. I'm leaning towards Tarzan, just because I feel like Grug's stronger and tougher and has better like street smarts. Like, I guess street smarts. Yeah, I guess street smarts. Whereas Tarzan's faster, more versatile, and has better book smarts. Like, he's overall smarter. I think Grug is just has better intelligence in terms of combat. I could be wrong, but I don't know. This is coming from a guy who has seen the Croods once, and it was before I paid much attention to versus stats. If I watched it again, I probably would. If I had watched it again before this came out, I probably would have had a better idea, but I didn't. Oops. So I'm rooting for Tarzan, and I'm kind of thinking he's gonna win. But we will have to wait and see. So let's get into this. So let's just get this started. And play. New intro. Spiral Masters and stuff like that.
Greetings, one and all to UniVS. In this show, we will analyze the stats, weapons, and abilities of two fighters to see who would win in a battle to the death. Many people have predicted the outcome, so let's see who guessed right and who guessed wrong. And be sure to stay tuned after the episode so you can see the next fighters and make your predictions down in the comment section below or with a video response. And who knows, maybe your comment or your video response could be featured in the very next episode. With all that said, let's meet our two fighters. Tarzan, King of the Jungle, and Grug, King of the Caves. Which one of these two survivors of the wild will win in a fight to the finish? This is UniVS.
Because pretty much everything went wrong for him.
Alrighty, how on earth do I go over this backstory again without sounding like I'm repeating myself, since Tarzan has already been on the show before? I guess I'll just word things differently, or I could spend this whole bio section going back and forth on how I'm going to cover Tarzan's backstory without actually covering it. Wouldn't that just be awful and annoying? I mean, not only would people who haven't seen Peter Pan vs. Tarzan miss out on Tarzan's history, but it would also show how clumsy of a writer I am, as typing down this improvised stuff is way easier than finding a different way to tell the same story. I'm making it seem way harder than it actually is, aren't I? Anyways, I should just suck it up and get to dropping some Tarzan info in your faces. Oh, shoot, almost out of time. Scene's about to transition. Okay, monkeys raise monkey man meets girl, stops hunter, the end. Now, with that incredibly descriptive and helpful bio of Tarzan's story, you can probably figure out that he was, in fact, raised by monkeys, and as such he grew up watching and learning their every move. Tarzan is capable of performing several acrobatics as he swings on vines, slides on trees, and leaps across the jungle. Not only do all these tricks make him incredibly mobile and agile, but doing this stuff his entire life gave him a very athletic and muscular body that helps out with some feats we'll get into later. Growing up with gorillas also helped Tarzan to adopt their natural instincts. He's always very stealthy and careful when approaching something new, hiding in the trees, smelling for danger, you name it. Tarzan can also play tricks on his foes by copying animals and sounds almost perfectly. From speaking
Right, yeah.
baboon to making shotgun sounds, he can do it all. There were some things he came up with on his own, like when he made a spear for hunting and fighting. Tarzan is also pretty smart too. After meeting Jane and a few other humans, Tarzan was able to learn the English language in a matter of days. He also learned reading, riding a bike, and more in just a matter of weeks. This man is built to survive way more than just the jungle. In fact, considering what he's capable of, you could even say he was made for the jungle. Tarzan is capable of fighting off animals like leopards. He's strong enough to climb up a rushing waterfall, move boulders and elephants, and even hold down a silverback gorilla. Silverback gorillas can lift around 6,000 pounds, about 15 times their own 400-pound weight. That's pretty strong.
I forgot about that.
It's consistent too, as he can hold the jaws of crocodiles who can bite down with a force of over 5,000 pounds. Tarzan can also handle plenty of punishment, like when he fell from several feet in the air and completely smashed a pile of large wooden crates, and also some lava serving that makes no sense. But as I was saying, Tarzan is also speedy enough for the jungle. He can outpace gorillas and elephants, both of which can reach up to 25 miles per hour while running. Tarzan also has supersonic feats from dodging Clayton's shotgun. Since Tarzan didn't know what a gun was at this point, we can't simply shrug it off as aim dodging. It's a feat. But let's see if Grug has 1 foot ahead in this battle.
No matter where I
Wow.
go, you will always be my mother.
Now there comes a time where things change. There are many people who believe you should go with the flow and accept all change, which in my opinion is a terrible idea. Because while I do like spicing things up every now and then, not all change is good change. And that's something Grug and I have in common. I mean, when all your neighbors get killed violently before your very eyes, it kinda makes sense not to change your hiding spot from the safe, quiet cave that has been your shelter from the chaos for your entire life. But what exactly happens for the rest of your life when that cave is no longer there? Our caveman Grug had to find out the answer the hard way. When faced with the supposed end of the world, Grug had to do the hard task of letting go of every rule he's ever known. He had to learn how to adapt, how to change. Luckily for him, his several vicious traits as a caveman made this transition way easier to muscle through. Now Grug doesn't appear to have very much when it comes to his arsenal, but that is made up for in his abilities. Grug has extremely heightened senses. His sense of sight, hearing, and smell are clearly stronger than a normal man, and he uses this to his advantage. He can sniff out danger, see and hear things coming from far away, and react accordingly. Grug is also a surprisingly good organizer, as he's able to instruct and coach his family when they go out hunting. He's very careful and very aware of his surroundings, which may not seem like much to you guys, but there's no such thing as being too careful. While he may lack ideas, Grug is still very resourceful. He'll launch and chuck everything he can find in the environment at his enemies, using everything as a weapon. He's even got some good strategies, like screaming violently at others in attempts to scare them off. While Grug may not have weapons, there's nothing stopping him from making a very special one. So if Grug ever finds a pair of sticks or some flint, you're in hot blazing trouble. So again, while Grug may not have much to work with from the start, he can make stuff to work with and turn into a deadly weapon himself. I mean, he definitely is built to be a weapon. Grug is strong enough to move gigantic boulders, wrestle incredibly large animals, and survive tons of physical abuse without taking much permanent damage. This includes long falls, being smashed into gigantic rocks, and even the shockwave from a crumbling mountain. He once also kicked a log into the distance farther than the eye can see. Using the length and diameter of this log, I calculated that it weighs about 302 pounds. It was hollowed out, so it probably weighs a lot less, but I did what I could. Anyways, assuming the log traveled a full mile from the kick, Grug should have been able to strike with 0.004 tons of TNT. That's on the very, very high end of wall level, right under small building level. Grug is also incredibly fast and has a pretty high stamina. He can sprint at crazy speeds for long periods of time, able to outpace creatures that resemble woolly mammoths capable of charging at 26 miles per hour. So with that strength and speed of a caveman, is he enough to stop the king of the jungle? Let's take a look at your predictions while I calculate the results.
I am a caveman!
No, wait!
Okay. I have no idea. I don't know anymore. I'm still kind of leaning towards Tarzan. I feel like the important thing here is strength versus speed, because I feel like he didn't say what tier Tarzan is. He said he can hold back a silverback gorilla, and that he can hold the mouths of crocodiles. together. He didn't say how. I don't remember how strong exactly that is. Meanwhile, Grug is like like high end wall level, which I guess makes sense. Tarzan's still faster because he dodged gunfire. Even though the running speed should be roughly even. I just think that Tarzan has too much to start with. I don't know. Now, granted, his high-end wall level feat was being generous because the log was hollow and not a full-on log. Like it wasn't like it was hollow, so it weighed a lot less. So I guess it was just a generous pick. So I'm not sure. The boulder things I think would give Grug the strength advantage anyway, so it's not like that matters much. I just don't know. I feel like even though I think Grug would win in like a hand-to-hand fight, like without weapons and stuff and such, because of his better strength. But I just think that Tarzan is fast enough to react to Grug, and has more weapons to start with than Grug would ever have. But I am not sure. I am very curious as to how this is gonna go. I think we're wrapping up. I'm gonna stick with my guns and say Tarzan. Yeah, okay. I have my earbuds in hand, so when we start back up, I can put these back in. But I'm gonna stick with Tarzan. But we will see. I'm actually kind of nervous. This is weird. So, I mean, if Grug does win, I'm okay with that. I feel like this could go either way, but I'm gonna stick with my guns, stick with my bias, even though that's not necessarily the best thing to do with versus. I'm gonna stick with who I like more and my initial thoughts, and say Tarzan. So here we go.
And the results are in. The winner is Tarzan. He's now 2-0 in universes, and he has plenty of good matchups, so perhaps he could return again someday. Just hopefully with better backstory coverage next time.
Nice.
Oof. It's no secret that Grug is the stronger one, able to toss around fully grown humans with ease. He can move much larger boulders than Tarzan, and his insane log kicking feat is definitely more than anything Tarzan has done. But if you remember, I highballed that feat by weighing the log as if it were solid when it was clearly hollowed out. And even then, it isn't big enough of a lead in strength to automatically give Grug the win, especially considering the other stats. Grug may be stronger and more durable, but he still remains in Tarzan's stat range of high-end wall level. So on top of that, we can add the fact that Tarzan is way faster. Both can sprint at speeds faster than 25-mile-per-hour animals, but only Tarzan has reacted to shotgun fire, which is a huge upgrade. Then, of course, Tarzan has the arsenal advantage. Sure, Grug is resourceful, but that resourcefulness depends on if the environment has something useful for him to use, while Tarzan always and already has a trusty spear in hand. Next up is their intelligence, which Tarzan also takes the clear lead in. He's been able to learn all new languages way faster than most people, he can speak to animals, and he's way more strategic. Grug's main tactic while fighting is to try and scare off his foes with loud shouting and roars, and I think it's pretty obvious that that wouldn't work on Tarzan. Besides, Tarzan's done his fair share of scaring too. Tarzan sniffs out danger, is mobile and agile enough to avoid it, and often uses his foes' weaknesses against them, like when he got a snake to wrap itself around a tree so it couldn't reach him. Finally, there's the fact that Grug relies on his family. His only attack formations involve them.
Oh, I didn't think about
90% of the
that.
time, the "they're used to fighting on a team and not solo" argument doesn't matter one bit, since the leaders of the teams are usually capable of handling their own team or taking care of themselves. But in Grug's case, it's actually kinda true. Tarzan literally takes every category except for strength and durability. Grug merely survives the jungle while Tarzan is the king of it. The winner is Tarzan.
Nice. I'm still in it. I'm still getting my wins.
Get ready for
All
the
right.
next
What do we
round.
got? Which?
Okay.
You know, I don't feel so good.
Oh. Oh. I was wondering when this was happening. That ending though. If you guys haven't seen Avengers Infinity War, treat yourselves, but be prepared for a bloodshed. Bloodbath, whatever. Anyways, yeah, Tarzan. Alright, I was very, very concerned that he was going to lose this one. I am very glad that he didn't. I don't mind Grug. I think, like I said, The Croods itself is a decent movie. It's not great, but it's good. I give it a watch. But I was just more familiar with Tarzan, so I was waiting for him. But man, I was concerned for a while. So he's 2 for 2, and I am very, very pleased with that. So since I've got nothing else to say, that next time, oh boy. Okay, if it wasn't, if it wasn't clear for you guys, it's Beerus from Dragon Ball versus Antipops from regular show. Now I'm gonna say this now. I am starting to lose I'm slowly losing the side of me that's a fan of Dragon Ball, if I'm being honest. Like, I still kind of support Dragon Ball, and I like some of the characters. I'm just not that interested in the show anymore. I just think it's not that great anymore. Especially when Super rolled around. I haven't actually watched Super, so for all I know, it's actually pretty good, but I don't want to watch it. I just don't think it looks that great. Especially since the first arc of it, I don't know how long these arcs are anymore, but the first part of it is literally just filler stacked on filler, and they were remaking the movies, and the movies are good. They remade Battle of Gods and Resurrection of F, and those are good movies. So it's not like it's the bad thing. It's just that I've seen the movies before, so what's the point? I don't know. It was just really annoying, and I think the whole tournament of power thing was just annoying. And I don't like any of the new characters, like Hit, Jiren. I don't like them at all. As for Beerus, I think he's alright as a character, but I think as a villain he's garbage. He's supposed to be this big threat in Dragon Ball. He's supposed to be this, I can destroy this planet if I really wanted to. The only reason and what's the reason I don't? Because their food tastes good. What? Either he's hiding okay, if any of this was explained in Super, please let me know, because I haven't caught up. And don't worry about if explaining it means spoiling Super, don't worry about it. like lay it down because I'm not gonna watch it. Yeah, I don't like Beerus, if I'm being honest. I just think he's not that great of a character. Like, I don't think he's awful, and there's definitely far worse Dragon Ball characters. I would say them, but some of them would probably cause some unnecessary hate in the comments, and I don't want that. There are some opinions I have on Dragon Ball characters that are not exactly the most popular of opinions. If you guys want me to share them at some point, I will. Like in the next Universe's reaction, I'll probably. If you guys don't, as long as you guys promise not to, rip my throat out after saying who I like and who I don't like, then I'll lay it out. But I'm gonna play it safe for now, if that makes sense. So I'm not a fan of Beerus. I just don't think he's that great. And then there's Antipops. Okay, I have not actually caught up with Regular Show. I know it's over now, and it actually makes me kind of sad. I actually really like Regular Show. I think Regular Show is a really good show. I haven't watched every episode, including the finale. I've been meaning to get into it, but I just never had the time or the interest. And there's other shows, not necessarily not the interest, but there's just other shows that I was meaning to actually get into at all, rather than just keep up. There's actually still some that I've been like, I gotta get into this at some point. I just never had the time. So at some point I'll probably finish watching the show, but I haven't yet. So I know essentially nothing about Antipops. So I guess if I have to pick one, I'll probably pick Antipops because I like Regular Show and I don't like Beerus. So I guess I'm rooting for Antipops for this one. At the same time, I have no idea who's gonna win that. So I know Beerus gets Super Scaling, and if I remember right, Super has finally gotten Dragon Ball to the point that everyone has been saying they're at, but they only got there because Super is like universal now. But only like a select handful gets the scaling. Like Goku gets it, Beerus gets it, Trunks gets it, Vegeta gets it. I think Frieza gets it. Yeah, I think so. I know like Piccolo, 18, Krillin, Yamcha, like any of the androids and the human characters, they don't get it. I don't think Roshi gets it. There are some that I know don't get it. Like Piccolo didn't get it, 18 didn't get it, Yamcha didn't get it, Krillin didn't get it, and there are some that I know did get it. Goku, Trunks, Beerus, Frieza, Beerus. Did I say Beerus already? I'm sorry. Did Gohan get it? I don't think Gohan got it. I don't know. I don't know. But at the same time, if I remember Kirby versus Pops, it said that they're like Pops and Anti-Pops are like reality warp. I would assume that Anti-Pops is as powerful as Pops, which means that he can grow to the size of like hundreds of planets, and like he can punch so hard he can like create another Big Bang or something. I don't know. I would have to rewatch Kirby vs. Pops.